Hey folks, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and here I'm going to talk about the basics of finger picking. What does that mean? The name is saying it, the basics of finger picking. Honestly, there are so many different playing techniques. Also on finger picking, like we have the classical one with the long nails, we have the flamenco with finger picking, we have the Marc Knopfler thing, this claw finger thing with 2 fingers. I'm just going to show my version, which I found out in my experience makes a lot of sense, especially for electric guitar. First note, why should we do finger picking? There's one reason for it. You have much better control over the tone, much better contact with the notes you're playing, and you can play much better orchestral stuff. Orchestral stuff is like when you play a chord. Let's take, for example, a C, and just play it like this. With a pick, you just strum it down. And here we just have, it's very essential that your hand is totally relaxed. As you do nothing, you put it here on your, you just hold it out like this and have no tension on your hand. That's how it works. Or you just lay it down on your leg with no tension on it. That's the position you need to have here. Then with this relaxation, you come on the strings like this, and each finger has a string, like on the C. Here, just zack. And now, as a first example, just release those strings. Where the thumb is on the A string and just go down, also with the pinky, just like this. That would be like this. Now you can also make the rolling, that's just one after each other. See? Takes a little bit of practice. If you're totally new on this stuff, just let it roll. What also is very useful is like on picking stuff, like one note after each other. See? I'm still playing that C. Now you just one finger after each other. See? And try make it as a rhythm, like in eights, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the trick is stay relaxed on the strings and just let them pop through. Don't add any kind of too much muscle strength, and just relax and just roll them over the strings. See? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Or in 60 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or the opposite. Try different types of techniques just to get your fingers rolling. Now comes the more, let's say, exciting part of it, how we make the soloing. I have kind of an adaptation of the Marc Knopfler style, but I don't do this typical claw thing with 2 fingers. Sometimes, of course, it makes sense, but sometimes not. The lower parts, when I play a pentatonic, like A minor pentatonic, I divided the fingers in different sections, like thumb is section, low E string, low A string. See? And in this case, I use hammer-on. And now comes the index finger on the D string, hammer-on, middle finger, hammer-on, index finger, hammer-on, middle finger, hammer-on. See, in this way you just play it pretty fluently up. See? That's one technique. Or like this little riff is very cool. goes very fluent. You start here, hammer on with the thumb, hammer on with the index, and with the middle. And very cool when you come from a chord like A minor. See? Just let it roll up. And this is like typical Marc Knopfler thing. Work a lot with hammer on pull off. And I mean, you can do it. I think Marc Knopfler always make with the claw finger, but I don't like this technique. I prefer to switch between the fingers, like if you make a pull-off flick here with in this case, I always switch between the index and the middle finger. So let's start with the index finger, pull off. Now middle finger, now index finger, middle finger, index finger, middle finger. And you can move it down maybe till the A string on the low. Then I come in with the thumb. On the low I start working with the thumb. But make it slowly but surely. If you want to play any kind of if you don't want to work with hammer and pull off, of course this is cool too. Then this comes from the classical technique with using the index and middle finger in alternate picking. So you can practice the scale, like in this case the A minor scale. I start with the thumb and then come in with the index and middle finger in switching. See? Now index, middle finger, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. That's how you can work on this. Of course, with this technique you don't reach the high speed like such with the pick, but it doesn't really. I mean, you have a lot of advantage from finger picking. You can play out of chords, like let's say A minor again. See? And you just play out with the rolling technique and then continue with that technique. Or and you can also use the slapping technique. And then we come here with the claw finger from Marc Knopfler. You just pop them like this. See, it's very cool stuff. Yeah, these are basically the basics or the rudiments, the essentials of finger picking. But if you work on soloing, you need work a lot on with hammer on pull off. As an example, I play this. In this case, I make the first phrase here on the G string with hammer on, and then I pop in. Very nice. And then come back again to switch between index and middle finger. What is also very cool is like all these lettering things work very nice with finger picking. Yeah, I think this is more or less all you need to know from the essentials. Really takes some time till you got each movement is special with the thumb. Take some time till you have the movement. This comes a little bit from Wes Montgomery with the octave. So just with the thumb, I just make downstrokes, but some people can do upstrokes, but I'm not really into this. If you want to have a full phrase only with the thumb, that's fine too. Why? Because the thumb has a different sound like the other fingers. Really try to take a musical approach to this whole stuff. Don't think too much, it has to be fast. Try to work out the sound of it, because the sound is the big difference between the pick and the fingers. You have so many sound variations with each finger, how you attack it, or if you pop it, or you play it soft, or with hammer, like this. This really makes the big difference. Yeah, I hope this tutorial was of use for you. There's so many possibilities with finger picking. It really makes some sense to get into this technique. But if you don't have your essentials down, it's a lot more complicated first at the first step from the picking, working with the pick. But once you have it all together, then you have a lot of more expression, a lot of more possibilities to really get groovy, especially if you want to work with orchestral stuff. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, me and Dr. Pink are signing off, and get your fingers rolling.